What began as an experiment to bring my 11-year-old daughter into my business has evolved into Our Young Creators, a podcast, a training center, and a movement dedicated to equipping kids with real-world marketable skills so that they can fund their own brighter futures. We're here to inspire you to turn consumption time on devices into creation time and use technology as a tool to bond and not bicker with your kids. Join us each week as we share the inner workings of our partnership and bring you stories from guests of all ages and from all walks of life on our quest to nurture and to celebrate our young creators. Do you consider yourself to be a superhero? Well, today we are going to talk about just that. Before we get started, I am going to take off this mask so I can talk to you and see you a little better and say welcome. I'm so glad you are tuning in live, catching the replay, or listening over on the podcast. My name is Young Pratt. I'm a 17-year performing arts studio owner turned chief dreamer, podcaster, and author right here at Our Young Creators. What we love to do here at OYC is to help other people to harness the power of technology to become creators, not just consumers. And creators can be all ages and from all walks of life. Today, I want to share the story of the event that I went to this past weekend. I went to an event called Biz Besties in Atlanta, Georgia, that was hosted by my amazing friend, Kim White and Christy Garcia. And what they put together over the 3 days we had to come together was truly remarkable. I would love to know if you ever attend live events. Maybe they are for business, maybe they are personal events that you attend. I would love to know if you attend events. You can put yes or no in the comments below. And if you do attend live events, how many you attend each year. Now, this was my second live event this year, and it was unlike every single event I've ever been to. Most of the events I've attended in the past have been pretty large events. Some were as small as 50-ish all the way to hundreds, and some of them thousands, huge events, and this one was 10. And I have to say that the difference between attending an event where there are hundreds of thousands of people versus one where there are 10 are huge. They almost cannot compare. It's almost like comparing apples to oranges because they are so different. Now, over the course of the weekend, we experienced some breakthroughs. Personally, each of us had opportunities to do things like walk across broken glass, something I never thought that I would do. We also got to break arrows. We put it right here in the base of our neck, and we got to lean into the pain, literally, to break this arrow and shatter some of the self-limiting beliefs we had internally that we could now see physically that we are stronger than we thought possible. Now, I have to say, when I went into the event, I didn't know exactly what to expect. I had only been to larger events and hadn't been to something so small and intimate before. So, the first thing that I observed was that the people that were surrounding us, once I had a chance to meet everybody and they shared their stories, I was totally blown away. And what I'm here to share today is that each of the people in attendance had been through, some of them, really horrific events in their lives, and they made a choice. They made a choice to take action and to overcome their circumstances and not be the victim, so they could go on to help other people and make a bigger impact in the world. And to me, each of the people in attendance at this event was most certainly a superhero. Now, this idea of superheroes is something I have been thinking about for a really long time now. Almost 3 years ago now, I released my first book, and it's entitled Raising a Superhero. Now, when I talk about superpowers, it's not like I'm talking about Superman or Batman that have powers like being able to see through walls or lift up objects 20 times my weight or something like that. It has nothing to do with those kinds of superpowers. The superpowers that I'm really talking about are ones that each of us has within, and we're sometimes not wanting to share those things with others. I really felt for so many years that I was hiding behind others, hiding behind my business. Even as a business owner, I would have other people represent me because I was uncomfortable with sharing my story, being vulnerable, and really making me the central character in my business. It seems really odd to think about that now. However, now that I'm on the other side, I have to say that the times that I get to come on here and chat with all of you and share stories and share how I've been able to overcome challenges and how my kids and I overcome challenges together so they can go out there and serve others, those are the times that I feel most alive. When I'm able to take all the skills that I've learned and all the knowledge that I've gained and all the lessons I've learned from the many, many failures, those are the times when I feel like I've arrived in this most glorious place of being able to serve you at the highest level. Now, over the course of the weekend, it was fascinating to watch each person to overcome their own self-limiting beliefs by walking across glass, breaking these arrows, and then getting up in front of all of us to share their stories, share what lights them up, share their passions, and showcase their unique superpowers. Now, as you go out into your day today, I would love for you to just take note of a couple things for me. I want you to take note of the things that you do that are easy for you. The things that come easily to you may or may not come easily to other people. I want you to jot those things down. If you have kids at home, I also want you to be a little bit of a detective today. I want you to write down the qualities you see in your kids that are uniquely them. What things or what gifts do they have that come easily for them? Do they have the ability to make people laugh? Do they have the ability to assess a situation and respond accordingly? Do they have the ability to craft words into a beautiful story? Do they have the ability to take that story and share it verbally? There are so many gifts we each have, and we underestimate the power we have to change the world and to impact the lives of those around us. Now, over the course of this weekend, I can tell you with absolute certainty, one, that the trajectory of my business and the next step for me is so far different than what I would have imagined, and it's going to be available much more quickly because the people at this event have connections to people to help me do these things. So that's number one. And number two, I have to just say that really, really, really big things are coming here at OYC. So that we can serve entrepreneurs better, so we can serve families better, and so we can really focus in on helping kids to harness the powers of technology and to turn something that is consuming a lot of their time and turning that time into a time when they can become creators, not only as far as information, but they can start to create a life that is beyond what they can even imagine now, because they too are superheroes with superpowers that need to be shared with the world. If there's one thing I've learned from bringing my own kids into my business and allowing them to play and to explore and to really discover their unique gifts, I have learned that when given the opportunity, kids will rise to every challenge. I find that often kids are underestimated because they're kids. And well, if someone's young, that of course means they don't have as much to contribute to the world or to a business or to any given situation. And I'm here to dispel that myth completely. Every time I give my kids a new challenge and they're learning something new, I give them some parameters, some structure, some systems, and then they take those systems and structures, embrace them, internalize them, and make them their own, because what they bring back to the table every single time is that they surpass my wildest expectations. Now, can you imagine if there's a kid in your life, maybe it's the next door neighbor, maybe it's your own kids, maybe it's kids that you interact with at your social groups like a church. There's at least one kid in your life, no matter what your age, that could use a little bit of faith, that could use a little bit of love and a little push in a direction they themselves could never have imagined. What if one of your superpowers became seeing the potential in one child and then turning that potential into an opportunity for this child to go on and make an impact in the world by sharing his or her gifts? I want you just to take a minute and absorb that, because, my friends, that is power. You have the power to go out there and impact the life of at least one child so that they can grow into their superpowers and discover them with your help. And I believe that is a truly magical experience if we can create that together. The more of us out there acting like superheroes, owning our gifts, and then bringing other people, especially kids, into the mix and showing them by our example how they can go out and lead the world, how they can go out and make big changes, how they can go out and serve the world and create more goodness, because we absolutely need more positivity in our world. And if we can own our superpowers and help somebody to own theirs, can you imagine what this world would look like? I know that I, for one, get super excited thinking about how the kids in our lives now are the ones who are going to lead us in the future. And if we can give them real skills, if we can stand alongside of them and help them on their own journey, the world is going to be a beautiful place. And I, for one, want to be there to see these kids blossom and bloom and really transform into these magnificent butterflies, aka superheroes, because it's time, my friends. It's time to gather. It's time to uplift. It's time to own our own superpowers, our own unique gifts. It's time to bring others into this fold and perpetuate this cycle. If you are with me on this journey, type in me below. And if you are watching or listening over on the podcast, I invite you to come back over to our website, Our Young Creators, and search up Be Your Own Superhero, because once you become your own superhero and own your gifts 100% and put those gifts into the world and be able to impact the lives of those around us, in particular